Senator, good morning. How are you?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Wildcats, Arizona Wildcats. Too bad.
You were in deep with Arizona, weren't you? You had them going.
Yeah, yes, out of loyalty, not out of brains, out of sentiment, and also, usually if you look at records, Dan, Arizona usually does pretty well. I think last year they got to the Sweet 16, and but anyway, it is what it is. So, and the Wichita Shockers, okay, and who knew with the Ale? I'm sure that Ivy Leaguers all over America are rejoicing, but who knew? It's a little bit like predicting Donald Trump.
Wow. Is he a number one seed right now, Senator?
I'm afraid he is, my friend. I'm afraid he is the number one seed, and it's going to be huge. He's going to make the championship great again.
What's in better shape, though, the Republican Party with these candidates or your bracket?
It's a close call. With the way I've started. Oh yeah, by the way, not to mention Little Rock. What a team! I'm sure they were your pick, Dan.
Arkansas Little Rock, yes, yeah. They're the Bernie Sanders of this the challenge.
Yeah. Well, and then that means that Duke is the Hillary Clinton because everybody hates him.
All right. Who's Sarah? Can we put candidates to these schools then? Who is Ted Cruz? Who's Rubio?
Well, let's see. Who would be Ted Cruz? I think. Who is it that? Well, we all dislike Oregon out here, out west. Getting all that money from that billionaire and all that. Maybe Ted Cruz is the Oregon. Bernie Sanders. I think that goes into the I would say Florida Gulf Coast category.
Oh, that much of an upset, huh? Underdog.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
And what about Rubio?
Marco, I think he's probably Mississippi State. Everybody likes the coach. Everybody is, they've got a good record, but they aren't going to quite make it this time. It's going to be Kansas.
Who is disliked more, though, in your opinion, Cruz or Hillary?
I think it depends on voter registration.
but back to Donald Trump, though.
Party affiliation.
But back to Donald Trump. I don't like what he said about you. I mean, made it personal with you. But and you didn't say anything for a long time. Can you back him if he's leading your party?
I have to support the nominee of my party, but it wasn't me, Dan, that I took exception to. I'm in the arena. We're in a collision sport, and so. But what I minded was when he said that about all people who have, quote, been captured. A few weeks ago, one of the things that our staff does, we hear from people that haven't got their medals and decorations. We heard from the wife of a man, 92 years old, was a prisoner of the Germans. He'd been a B-17 pilot, captured, and all that. And so we went out and got him his medals because he hadn't gotten his medals, believe it or not. And at the ceremony afterwards, he said, "Tell me, Senator, why does Donald Trump not respect me?" And I couldn't give him a good answer. That's what I took exception to. Those were brave people in those days and American heroes, and they shouldn't be treated that way.
Senator John McCain from Arizona joining us, Dan Patrick Show. If you didn't go to the Naval Academy, where would you have gone?
I wanted to go to Princeton, and that was where some of my classmates in high school went, and it was a place that I thought was very attractive. But honestly, Dan, because of my father and my grandfather had gone to the Naval Academy, there wasn't much choice, which I'm sure accounted for some of the rebelliousness, which put me still in the top 10 as the most number of demerits that any midshipman ever accumulated.
Okay, well, what did you get in trouble for at the Naval Academy?
Well, you name it. I didn't shine my shoes, tried to always beat the system. I didn't. You weren't supposed to wear these things called half Wellington boots that were popular in those days. So naturally, I did. I and a group of midshipmen would, with amazing regularity, go over the wall, as we called it, which means leave the environs of the Naval Academy late at night. But I tell you, we had one heck of a lot of fun.
No wonder you went into politics. You were a rebel at the Naval Academy.
Absolutely. And by the way, one of the most mediocre wrestlers to ever compete on the behalf of Navy Blue and Gold. I was penned in some of the nicest gyms in the East.
Did you win any wrestling matches when you were at the Naval Academy?
No. Actually, no. I did win some boxing matches, though.
Oh.
I did win some boxing matches, but wrestling, no. My record was unblemished.
One thing that's been brought up is contact in youth football, age limit. Man, how much does Congress, how much does the political world care about this? Will they care about this with all the brain damage CTE studies we've done?
I think that we ought to be careful with all of these things when we get into sports. It took a long time before me to get into the doping issue. On this issue, I believe that we ought to look carefully at the science, and if the science is credible, then I'm not sure that any member of Congress should overrule it. And now I think it's not a bad idea to have a congressional hearing on it to bring out all the facts, because we represent our constituents who deeply are, obviously I don't have to tell you the role of sports in every American's life, but I would be very careful about legislating. Because at least until we have all the facts, and I think some progress is being made in accumulating those facts and conclusions. Do you agree?
Yeah, I have some concerns there, but I think we have a tendency, once we jump in, we may overreact, and I just want to make sure we're making the right decision at the right time. We look at the pros. The longer you play, the more likely it is you're going to have brain trauma. But I am concerned about these college kids who don't go to the NFL, who have no financial backing, insurance. They're the ones that concern me. And when do these concussions start? Do they start when these kids are in grade school, Pop Warner? Do they start in high school? And what kind of monitoring do we have with them? That's where my concern is, not with the NFL. It's with the players who don't make the NFL.
I think that's the most salient point here, and I totally agree with you. I also think that we ought to at least have a much better understanding as quickly as possible, and it wouldn't hurt at all if professional sports put some money into it, as they have, but would probably a lot more into research. And by the way, anybody who's ever seen Muhammad Ali and a number of other great fighters, not just him, but he's the greatest example of what brain damage is all about. And that brings up the question, what do these studies do to the sport of boxing?
Yeah, we've seen that. You can hear that. You can hear the slurred voice, the words. Yeah. And with Muhammad Ali, with Fight Night in Arizona, you've seen him up close and personal, and what he once was and what he is now.
Sad to see.
Yes,
my friend,
it is.
The most loquacious, articulate person in sports, certainly in my generation, and now it is what it is.
House of Cards. Do you like it? Do you watch it?
Oh yeah. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy it.
Anything realistic?
Totally realistic.
Of course,
exactly what happens in Washington. In fact, there's a couple of senators that I have plots to kill. And I hope that I'm able to do that because they deserve killing, obviously.
How good do you think Kevin Spacey is in that role?
He's fantastic, but he's been great in a whole lot of different roles. I think he's one of the stellar actors, and it's really a fun. I enjoy it, and there's enough of the interaction between members and staff, and there are plots and subplots. Look at what's going on. You asked me about Trump. We keep reading. I'm not involved, but I keep reading about all these different groups that are getting together. How are we going to stop Trump? Are we going to get him at the convention? Can we stop him? That would make for at least one episode of House of Cards, don't you think?
Yeah, or a few. But also, I can't imagine this though. That if what would it be like though that you meet Donald Trump and he wants to shake your hand? Do you have to shake his hand?
One thing that I have found in life is that if people come and genuinely regret what they've done and want to apologize, I've made enough mistakes in my life that I'm not such a person that wouldn't accept an apology. But I would not expect that offend anytime soon.
Do you think you could take Trump right now, Senator?
What do you mean?
Beat him up.
2 falls out of 3?
Yes.
Without a doubt, my friend, because he would have to have such a priority to keeping his hair in place.
Would there be hair pulling?
I don't know, my friend. These are the most interesting times, and you continue to entertain and inform. And whenever I get so fed up with the machinations and the mudslinging, I tune into your show, my friend. You do a great job.
Thank you, Senator. Tell your wife we said hello, and good luck in the next couple of months.
Thanks, Dan. See you. Bye.
All right. That's Senator John McCain.